talk a little bit about basically one of the hardest things that we deal with in the industry, and that is clients. Whether that's clients meaning like somebody that you've tattooed, or in my case, it can also be considered like clients meaning like an artist that has come and trained with you. So yeah, this one feels
where do we start? So many directions.
I know. Have we had any recently that are like coming to mind that are like standing out? I mean, you and I have one literally that like
she like
she Brisa's like, what can I say?
She scared me for a little bit because I thought I was gonna have to pay a lot of money. I thought she was gonna be coming to my house. I was scared.
Are we talking about the same one?
I don't know. Are we? I feel like there's
the one that showed
levels.
up in rain.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
there's different levels.
That's the one.
Yeah, like
no,
I was like, there's people that like Brisa has had, but then there's other people that are kind of just more. They really just want to know every detail, every 30 seconds, want to talk to you, and it's just different levels.
Okay, wait.
I don't want to call them craziness.
Okay, a little crazy. Okay, but you said there's different levels. But have you had? You know who we're talking about with Brisa?
Oh yes,
yeah.
absolutely. I would say that's like if we're out of 5 levels, that's like 4. Because then there's a 5th level of like harassment.
No, she was level 5.
No, what about that? No, there's another client of Amber's that came to our door because that's like she might hurt you.
That
level
was
5.
Brisa's.
Yeah, she's just like
Brisa's was the one that was ringing the doorbell for 45 minutes.
She was.
I don't know if she would like physically hurt us, but the other.
I mean,
try. I don't
know.
Bet
she was bursting out the
4.5. She's not gonna beat our ass.
Okay, so with that one, you thought. Wait a second.
No, because I saw her in real life. I was like, while I was going around doing my own thing, I was like, please don't look at me. Please.
But you thought you were going to have to pay something?
Yes, I thought I was going to have to pay something. She was going to do a dispute or something.
Well, I mean, she didn't. Knock on wood. This
right?
is not. But yeah, she didn't do a dispute, right? But what did we end up having to do? Oh. We mentioned in an earlier episode that we had, if you're going into this, you need to have a lawyer on retainer. So we did. We actually, with that one, had to call the lawyer. I still don't know how much that cost. But so I had to call the lawyer and they had to do a cease and desist because she was okay. But we have to kind of give a little backstory because I think people are probably like thinking now we're the crazy ones because all we're doing is talking trash about somebody, which is not the point of this episode by any means. But I know a bunch of people can relate to this. But so we had to call the lawyer because she got out of hand, right? Like she showed up at the studio unannounced. She rang the doorbell sitting outside for 45 minutes. Rewind like I don't know, months, because this has been like a month, like this was going on probably like 6 months.
Yeah, so in the beginning, when she first came in here, she was really happy with her work and everything. It was when she was healed. With eyeliner, it's a little finickier because, you need a second session sometimes.
When she started off with a lash line and then wanted to go thicker, so we're hitting new skin, so she obviously would need another follow-up session, but couldn't understand that.
Yeah, and she was just... I guess she couldn't reach out to us, but she left.
No, she did.
She did.
She emailed me like 42 times.
On every outlet.
She left a bad review.
Every outlet.
She messaged on Facebook, on Instagram, on Yelp, on Google, on Better Business Bureau. She was coming for us. Like this one was messy, and it was. Honestly, I said 42. I don't know how many emails it was. Like she reached out lots of times.
I mean, even in the beginning, when she actually reached out before she came in, I touched her skin, right? She was emailing at every moment. Yeah. And she kept sending pictures of what she wanted, multiple times.
And let's tell people, too, I think, because now, again, we're, just talking trash. But no, leading up to people's appointments, they have multiple, so they have a pre-screen. They have multiple documents that they go through, that they read, that they sign, that they have this aftercare sheet that's front and back. They have, they reach out to us. Sasha gets a lot of the questions. They reach out to us asking about the healing process. We're always there. We're on social media. We're responding to questions all day long. Yes, we get that that's part of our job, but how much is too much, right? You can't hold somebody's hand every step of the way. I'm not kidding you guys. And I said 42 probably random ass emails, daily, multiple times a day for months. It's eventually you just have to cut them off. And nicely, I actually was nice to her. I was hey, come in for a consultation. She came in for a consultation, for us to look over the work. It was an hour-long consultation going over everything in full detail all over again after already doing that the first session. So I think we were above and beyond.
Yeah.
Right? So it's gets to a point where it's nope, cut off, call in the lawyer, leave us alone. But she didn't like that. She showed up at the studio. And then we had to call the lawyer again. So it was like this messy situation. So don't let yourselves get into a situation like that, because we let that one go probably a little too long because we are too nice, which we're trying to help people. But I think being in this industry, you have to be nice, right? Like, so like, I don't know, Sasha, I'm like, I'm looking at Tanya, but I kind of want to go to Sasha because
let's go to Sasha. Because she's the one that has to, I mean, at the end of the day, I would say no matter what, everything falls on your lap at the very end, worst case scenario. But I feel like Sasha is the first, because even if they're trying to reach out to Brisa or I, they always hit Sasha first. Yeah. So Sasha's always like the punching bag, and then it kind of trickles down to everyone else. And
poor Sasha too, because I look at Sasha, I'm like, Sasha, handle it. I can't. I got mental capacity. I actually heard something real quick. I just wanted to say this. I think I was listening to a podcast, and I heard something that it's different, and not that it doesn't suck just as bad for you, but for her, for you to have like that filter, that barrier that's like, let her, I know it sucks, Sasha, but like let that person, there be a person between you and the artist, because us as artists, we'll carry that shit around for weeks and weeks and weeks. So I was like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Like, this ain't my face. Like, this ain't my problem, and this is not a problem. Like, she is very good at, like, putting that wall up, and it's like, oh, let's diffuse this. And then by the time they come in for the touch-up with me, it's all squashed. So thank you, Sasha.
Yeah. They usually just need someone to rant to. You just let them rant and just be like, we understand your concerns, and then they're usually happy after that. But there are a few that were like,
are there any things that when you're like, when you are responding, so some people, I mean, I feel bad because some people don't have front desk. They don't have that like filter, right? That before it gets to them. But is there anything that you see like on a regular basis that is like common, like that you would say with clients? Like, is it always healing? Is it always, or is it all over the board? Is there questions and they're like,
I would say it's all over the board. It just depends. Like, you get some people who don't ask any questions at all. They're just like, okay, here, like, I'm booked. I want to book. Let's do this, and we're good. And there's the other people that are like, here's my whole list of questions that I have for you.
Or my whole problems. Yeah. Like, we recently had one that was like, what did she say? Like, she was like, there's something really wrong. That was a message she texted, right?
Oh, there was a voicemail, yeah.
Yeah, and then was it just about the scabs?
Yeah,
yeah, and and then once they send the photo, we're like, this is normal, and we explain it to them.
So like Tanya and I as artists, so when we hear that, we're like,
yeah,
oh my god, their face is falling off, like we did something wrong.
When Sasha played me the voicemail this morning, I was like in bed, and she was like, here, listen to the voicemail, because I'm like, I want to know what I'm going into, like I want to know what to prepare myself.
Guys, and she said this morning, let you know we've been out of the studio for a while, so we're a little behind on messages. This did not happen just today. Like, this is a past scenario that we're kind of behind on. So I'll be honest with you, in business that happens. So
so she played me the voicemail. She's like, something's so wrong with my eyebrow, like it's just so wrong, I don't know what to do. So I'm thinking like, this lady has pus coming out of her eyebrows, like it's infected, like there's some crazy stuff going on. And then come to find out, it was really just, it was completely as expected. Like I saw it and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is completely 100% normal. But that's one of those things where the client like kind of did overreact, but that's just like, she's just concerned, but she wasn't like, trying to harass us.
So let me ask you this, because this is something I literally cannot like wrap my brain around, and I've been doing this a long time, so I kind of get a little more irritated a little sooner than I probably should. But I'm just like wondering. So we talk to them throughout the whole procedure. They have like I mentioned, they have pre-screen form. They have all these documents that they're reading through that's telling them exactly what to expect. They have the aftercare sheet that is front and back, telling them literally what to expect day by day. Not only that, Amber thinks that people don't read that full sheet because it's too detailed. So I made a little tiny card that breaks it down even less detailed for the people that wouldn't get through the sheet, because I know I would not read that whole sheet. So what is it that they feel like they don't have the answers? Like, I feel like what else can we do? I'm like, I don't know.
They just want to be touched. They just want to be talked to.
Just loved.
Yeah.
I think that's all it comes down to.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. They want to be talked to and just comforted.
Yeah, at least, I mean, there's some times where I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's excessive. But too, I guess as an artist, I think like they're getting their face tattooed. I don't know. Yeah. But also I'm 2 years in. I'm not that, I'm just like, oh my gosh, some lady called me because her scab fell off, like freaking me out. Like,
I'd be like, Sasha, handle that shit. I'm gonna go have a coffee real quick.
Exactly. But I'm just like, it's not like, she just wanted to be told it's okay. And she was totally fine. I hopped on a phone call with her. I'm like, oh, that's totally normal. And she was as happy as could be, even with her eyebrows falling off.
In that moment, when you heard that voicemail, body response, mental, what was going on?
Oh, I got sick. I jumped out of bed. I felt the color leave my skin. I was like, oh my gosh, because or at least that's just me. I immediately think the worst, especially like this voicemail sounded alarming. Like it sounded alarming. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm freaking out. And it's a lot. Like being an artist is very mentally exhausting and draining. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing people don't talk about.
I know. Yeah. I know. I was thinking of a situation that is now handled and settled, but I mentioned earlier, like not wanting to just focus on clients with this, which, I mean, we'll tie this up. We kind of want to tell you guys like how to be a good client, how to be a good student, but real quick, because I don't want us to run out of time, but it's not just clients, like I mentioned earlier, that we are tattooing, but clients in a sense of artists coming to train. So unfortunately, you get bad experiences, right, with artists coming to train. I just went through one hell of a roller coaster ride. First time in 9 years. This feels good to talk about this.
Let's get it
out. We need to be a little bit longer of an episode.
It's a lot. It is a lot.
But so the artists, I talked to them for months leading up to them coming to train, and look, you're gonna have chargebacks. You can't deny that sort of stuff's gonna happen. So for actually a lot of people reached out to me because I did a rant on IG. I'd never done that before, but I'm sick of not speaking up because I think we're not always a bad guy like we're meant out to be, like we're made out to be, because I feel like there's always two sides to every story. So she had her say on her side of the story. But I talked to her for many months leading up to, you could kind of tell through the messages that she was going to come and expecting me to magically make her a great artist. Like, I'm like, here's this little package. When you unwrap it, you're going to be fixed. Like, I got this problem, that problem, this problem. It's all just going to be fixed. It's like, no, like we've already discussed, it takes a lot of hard work, right? So anyways, this particular situation, I was going to say, like, a lot of people reached out and they were like, actually, like 1 in 9 years, that's really amazing. So like pat myself on the back, but it was a doozy, you guys. So she came, she did a 2-day hands-on course, 4 models, blocked off my entire schedule. We did not charge those models because obviously like she is an artist in training. So, we didn't make no money off of those models when I could have charged them. My rate is $1,200. So missed out on $2,400 a day just taking clients. So that goes in, you're not missing out because obviously she paid for a training course, but she also then got online courses. She also got a full handout. She also like multiple handouts, three to be exact. So I feel like that's a really shitty person. I know that's kind of like, should she say that out loud? But yes, because she goes back and then she does a charge back and then I have no say. Like that's kind of how it felt, is like, but thank God, real quick on that, is like, thank God, because I think the thing that saved our ass is having those cameras. We have, cameras all throughout the studio. I think we have like 9 cameras. So she tried to say that she didn't get what she paid for, but she got all those things. Plus, in front of the clients was making them feel uncomfortable by saying like she didn't have confidence in tattooing them. But that's the whole point of the class and me being there, is getting on these people to tattoo. We were doing, certain procedures. So I actually, at one point, you hear me on the cameras say, no, like, get on. Like, I actually had to, like, force her on. But at this point, the models are feeling uncomfortable and don't feel confident in her skills. She's pissed that I'm telling her she has to get on these models. So now I'm the bad guy. Long story short, she got her certificate, goes back home, and does a chargeback. So Sasha and I sit down. Took us how many days? Like multiple days. Again, losing our time and money. Time is money, you know what I mean? So last thing we want to do is submit all this footage and all these documents and these thank God we have really great contracts. This is not a plug, but we have a course for that has all of our contracts included. And I really truly feel that those contracts, and Sasha's sitting down with me and helping me because I'm like all over the place all the time, because when you're busy, I'm talking a lot. When you're busy, I'm like, it's the last thing you want to do is sit down and like, okay, focus. Like, we have to write down now step by step what was included, what happened, like, and then submit all these footage and photos and messages and, the Ring camera footage, all this shit just to like try to fight to get our money back. And then they still hold the money for months. So I'm like, it was just a nightmare. So definitely, I'm going to stop talking now, but make sure your contracts and shit are in place, because if you ain't got a Sasha and you ain't got contracts, you ain't got cameras, you're screwed. Because I 100% think that they would have given her money back.
Yeah, we won it.
We won it.
So.
Woo, woo.
What's funny too is that even before the chargeback, she reached out and wanted to be part of our team, didn't she?
Yes,
Yeah. Oh,
she
yeah.
reached
Before
out, wanted to be part of the team, and during training class, she stated that she wanted to join our apprenticeship program. So that's a full-on scam. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me because I'm like, she would have probably did a chargeback on that entire 6-month training program.
I remember even making a comment to like during when you told her to hop on, and she was like, "Oh no, I'm just gonna record." And I was like, "Oh, she doesn't even want to like hop on and do a model."
Yeah, and they're
Why
paying good
even-
money,
why
right? Like, they're
even
paying
come here?
good
Yeah.
money for these training courses. So, like, why would you not want to get on models? Brisa just started training recently, but Brisa had a good experience.
Yes, I did.
Thank God for her first one. She
Oh my
had,
God, I would be so scared if it was bad.
yeah.
Oh God.
How did you prep for that? How did you make sure that that was going to be a successful training course, being your first
Watching
one?
you all the time?
Oh,
Honestly, I based it off of like what I seen you do, and like I kind of mixed in some of the things that I do, because like in the beginning I obviously had to learn from you, but I developed new little things on my
Yeah.
own, and I just implemented them.
well, and that's what it's about, right? It's
Yeah.
like when you take a training class, I think it's like it's like, oh, well, it's just a 2-day training course. Well, our 2-day training courses are advanced courses. We're not teaching you fundamentals and everything, all these different, you already need to be licensed. You tell me before I even accept you into a 2-day course, you tell me that you're advanced, right? Like, so to have that thrown back in your face is just like, man, like, no, you screwed yourself from the get-go. Like, you can't say that you're advanced and then show up and then feel uncomfortable about the situation. It's like setting yourself up for failure. These guys, I mean, Tanya and Brisa, like, I picked them like purposely because they didn't have any previous training, because it's tough with artists, and because we deal with so many different artists. Now we have like an online virtual studio that we're like working on growing. So it's tough as like, if you have a new artist, it's easier to teach them the right way than it is to have somebody like that. She said she was in the industry 15 years, been tattooing for so many years and is comfortable, is that and the other. And then they show up and they have bad habits. They're not where their skill level says they are. And yeah, it's just tough. It's easier to teach somebody, I personally feel, that's brand new than somebody that has been tattooing for a long time.
I agree.
Yeah, that was a big learning lesson for sure.
That was a big learning.
Now we're gonna vet our students much more
Did you
now.
ever think something like that would happen, Sasha?
No, that was honestly, that's like, I took that personally almost.
No, me too. It made me stop, Sasha. That's why I've been pushing training courses,
Yeah.
which is sad because I enjoy doing it. It's sad because it literally made me stop. I'm not pushing training class. I don't know if you noticed. I'm not pushing those training courses because it made me stop, sit back, and be like, sorry, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
You are in the same industry. You are a woman. You should be supporting other women. And the fact that you are doing that, and I think intently doing that because I have back history on that situation now, it makes you really stop and like evaluate, like that headache ain't even worth that money. Like, thank God we got it back. But that is not worth the amount of time that we had to invest, you and I sitting down trying to figure that shit out. It was horrible.
I think a lot of times, like, even students and clients, they forget that we're actual people.
Human.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're people. We're human. We're like living things. They just think, oh, they're just an artist. They're just someone here.
Yeah.
There's somebody I can use to advance,
Literally.
basically.
Yeah. And if they can't get something out of you exactly the way they want it, then you're the bad guy.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
How do you guys deal with that negativity? Like, because although we do have lots of positives, like we get lots of good
Yeah.
reviews and like a lot of people texting saying they love their work. Like, how do you guys deal
You know what
with
sucks
all
is
the
like,
bad
I
stuff?
think that I hate that in the world in general is like, what sucks is it's like, what do most people talk about? The negative shit. How hard is it to get somebody to leave a good positive review? Like, that is life-changing for a little business or an artist that's building their portfolio. A good review that just gave me goosebumps. It's literally life-changing. But the only thing that people want to talk about is, like, the bad stuff. And it's like, the bad stuff takes, especially for being an artist, like, we're emotional. Like, we feel that shit for a long time. And it's like we always say this, we wish we could review. We wish we had a place to review them. But I think, I don't know, sorry guys, sorry, not sorry, but I'm like, I lean on you guys a lot for like support when shit like that goes down. I'm like talking it out. I'm like, am I crazy? Are they crazy? What's happening here? Like, are we okay? Like,
it really makes you doubt yourself, you know?
yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah. And to like, I mean, how do we lift ourselves up from it? And like, how do we get past it?
You deal with it, Sash?
I try to make sure that I'm like cutting it off by a certain time, whether it's like, let's say like I make a rule for myself, like an internal rule, like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Okay, now this is my time to no longer think about anything. Just let it go. The day's over. There's a solution to it. We'll deal with it tomorrow. And then it kind of makes it feel like a little bit like, you just have to remember, it's like, not that it's not that serious, but it's not that serious, you know? So you just have to teach yourself to cut it.
We care more about their face, or we care more about that student than that student could ever care for herself. Like, we care about like those clients' faces that are freaking out. It's not like, it's like we care more. If they even could get in our head to see how much we are trying to like deliver perfectionism to them, like they'd be so comfortable. I tell my clients that sometimes. I'm like, if you even knew how crazy I was to myself, nothing you could do like really is harder than what I'm doing to my. You say that a lot, Tanya. You're always like the one that's like, I'm so hard on myself.
I know, yeah. There'll be like a millimeter, or maybe there's nothing wrong with it, but in my mind, it's like
That end
so
of the world.
wrong.
Yeah.
So that's why those little reviews, like, you know, maybe I had an off week, but that one little thing, I'm like, yay, I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So like, as much as it does matter, like when you leave a good review, I mean, I'm just like, cool, somebody else saw it and maybe they'll come to me like off of that recommendation. But I feel like for me, it like makes me feel better.
Yeah.
And that's like more than whatever, a tip or however much you charge them, like that. Because as sad as it is, like that kind of like, because I feel like I do have like good self-worth, but when I see that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better about myself. So I feel like it's just, it's nice. It's really empowering to your artist to do those
So
kinds
real quick,
of things.
Sasha, what would you say makes somebody a good client? Ooh, like what's some things that they can do? Like hurry, fast.
Pay your booking fee right away.
I think this is funny because it's like coming from somebody that's not an artist, so she's like, oh god.
So it's a little different. Someone that just like when you're talking to someone and they can repeat it back and understand that they're understanding the process
Like
of it all.
comprehension.
Yeah, that I feel like that's number one.
Cool.
Yeah.
How about you? What makes somebody a good client?
Positive vibes.
Yeah.
If you're already, it's gonna sound shitty, but there's a lot of people that come in already with self-confidence issues, or they don't feel good about themselves, and then they think like these eyebrows are gonna make them look like Angelina Jolie. Like, no, it's not gonna change everything about yourself. So just come with a positive vibe, and everything's going to be positive. Just that, I think that's what makes you a good client. Like, even if you see something's wrong, or maybe you're not,
Communication.
Communication or something, you're like, okay, well, I'm sure like this is just fine. I think when people come in with like a negative view or just think automatically something's wrong, then that's just going to make him a bad client, because it's not going to be a positive experience. And we say this all the time, like, of course we're going to do 100% like as best as we can, but like, don't talk to your artist crazy.
Yeah.
If you're coming at us with negativity, like, that's not going to make us feel any easier about working on your face.
It literally makes my brain shut down.
Yeah.
I'm like, you could have got 125% from me. Now you're getting 60, and now I'm pissed.
And not because you're purposely wanting
not
to
on
give him
purpose.
60, is because you're not functioning how you should function when you're on a positive vibe.
Literally. And then, Brisa, what makes somebody a good, not client, artist?
A good artist?
Like, that would make you want to train that person.
Someone coming in with an open mind. If you have like a one set way of doing things and you don't want to listen to what I have to bring to you, then
What the hell are they even doing here?
exactly. There are some people that, they're like that. They come in and they think they know everything. They come in and they want to show off. They want to show off to you because they want to hear, oh, that's cool. That's you're doing good, right? But you come in with an open mind, like you learn a lot more.
And I think, too, we're so limited on time with somebody that is traveling to us to take a training course. It's like, it's cool because we're all artists and we may pick up something. We might learn something from that person showing us a thing or two. But it boils down to we have to stay on task, right? Like, in order for me to provide you the worth of what you're paying me, like, I have literally a set thing, like, in my brain. I'm like, they got to cover, this machine, this needle. We got to do these movements. We got to do this on this model with this on this model. They got to, like, there's a checklist. So,
yeah, I mean, also trying new things. Like, some people don't like trying new things.
Yeah.
Like, this industry is literally trying new things all the time, every day, all day.
literally.
Like, you're going to see new skin, new faces, new everything. And if you don't, if you don't have multiple different skin types, multiple different like skin colors, you're not going to know what to do.
Right.
When it comes, you're going to be like, what do I do?
Right. Well, I think that's it for today, you guys. Join us next time for our next episode. And yeah, thanks for joining us. Bye.